happens when heaven opens up. Miracles happen. We had a tremendous miracle that happened last Sunday, and we want a testimony to come up. Janet and Paul Kennedy, please come up. Because last Sunday, as we were worshiping, just like we've been doing this morning, the Lord showed me an image of tumors shriveling up and disappearing. Here in the Goulet family, we saw our daughter Isabel healed of cancer. We saw our son healed of Guillain-Barré. We've seen so many other miracles. But that morning, I was so sure of what I was seeing in my spirit that I spoke it out. I said, hey, listen, I just believe that God's going to start doing that in people's lives. And Janet, you had been diagnosed. Tell everybody what was happening. Come on up. Let's move up.
About 2 months ago, I found a lump on my neck. So I went into the doctor, and they told me that I needed to go have blood tests done, and I needed to go have an ultrasound done. And when I did that, the diagnosis came back from the ultrasound that I had a 2x1 nodule on my left side of my thyroid. So they told me that I needed to go to a specialist, which I did. And he looked at the records of the ultrasound and the diagnosis. And he said, well, anything over a 1, we need to do a biopsy on. So then I scheduled an appointment to come back for that biopsy. But that Sunday, which was Tuesday, I went in for my biopsy, but Sunday, Pastor had called out for healing for tumors and lumps and whatever. And so I said, I received that healing, and I put my hand on my throat, and I said, Lord, you gave me the gift of healing. I want to be.
God gave you faith to say, that's for me.
Yes.
That's
so I received that.
That's an important thing. When you say that's for me, you claim that promise.
Right. And then I also said, Lord, you gave me the gift of healing, so I want to have that healing. So I had peace throughout the whole time. And we went in for the biopsy, and they got me ready, and the doctor explained to me that they were going to inject me 4 times to draw out cells, and that he would numb it as well as possible. And he said, any concerns? I said, well, I just don't want to have any pain. And he says, I'll try my best. And so then he laid me out on the table, and they got the ultrasound ready, and he said, I need to do an ultrasound to make sure where we're going to inject you to be able to pull out the cells. And I hear this, and then he called his intern in, and I hear this, and then I was going, whoa. I was thinking, oh, it must be really bad or something. Well, then I hear Paul going, So then finally he says, well, Janet, we're not going to be doing a biopsy today. And I thought, oh my. He says, because I have nothing to biopsy. The nodule is completely gone. I was just so shocked. I was so shocked, and Paul's grabbing my leg, shaking it like this. But the doctor went ahead and did his ultrasound and did just as a precautionary so that he could do any measuring, because I've always had an enlarged thyroid. But then he was, I said, boy, I wish I would have brought in my x-rays. And he said, oh no, I've got everything on my laptop. So he got his laptop out, and he said, no, he confirmed what the doctors had on this sheet.
Right there.
That I had a 2x1, a nodule, that either I needed a biopsy done or nuclear medicine, and he had chosen the biopsy. And as he was grabbing the x-rays or the ultrasound off of his machine, he says, you must have been doing a lot of praying. And I said, yeah, I said, I was praying for healing, but I also was mainly praying for no pain. I had no idea that I was going to be totally gone. And
now, you said that when you talked to the nurse, she said something pretty amazing too.
Right. I said, that's the power of prayer, and she gave me a high five, and she said, amen. So I believe I was dealing with people who were of Christian faith. And he, not only mine biopsy, he didn't have to do, but a lady before me, he was shaking his head. I didn't have to do hers either. So he saw 2 miracles in the house.
2 miracles in one day. Paul, how did you feel about this miracle?
Well, I gotta tell you, I went out in the parking lot, and I walked that parking lot, and I just spoke to God, and I said, God, you move in such a quiet way. Why, Pastor and the team is working on Prayer Mountain. We're receiving a miracle over here. And I just started crying out in the parking lot. I said, Lord, you're so precious, and you move so quietly, and I just thanked you for that healing.
Come on, we need to give God a great praise offering.